So, welcome to our session through internet. Um, I'm hoping that everyone is okay. And, well, this session will be about the following question: what to do for our next midterm oral test, right? So, at the end of this session, we will be able to recognize the most popular tips to prepare an oral presentation for the upcoming oral midterm, and also by doing this, we will be able to actually produce a oral presentation using the common structure that we have for expressing ourselves. So the structure of this session, first we're going to ask ourselves what are the most common strategies that you already know to prepare an oral presentation. After that, I will be giving you some pieces of advice, and also we will explore the common structure for a speech. And at the end of the session, you will be having a final activity. So let's see. According to your experience during this semester, what do you think are the most important strategies we should apply to prepare ourselves for an oral presentation? Try to think about this. Just a few seconds. I guess you have a lot of things in mind, right? Because we've talked about this a lot, right? So, okay, I'm drinking a little. I'm drinking coffee because, well, you know me. So, yes, I guess there's at least one of the following pieces of advice that you will recognize because I have told you this a lot of times. But well, first we have to know that we have to prepare the topics with time. We already know what we are going to be talking about in the presentation, so you know that at least 2 weeks before. So you have to prepare that with time. You have to look after yourselves. You have to be conscious of what you need to study and to prepare this, okay? And look after yourself. And by saying this, I mean that, for example, you have to sleep enough the day before. Do not stay all night long studying for any test and not for a oral presentation. You know that is not good for your health. Also, you have to eat healthily. You know that. I always tell you so. And please do not feel anxious about the oral presentation because you will have practiced enough by the time you will be presenting. So you know yourselves. You know that if you feel anxious sometime, you have to prepare yourselves and you have to practice a lot, right? Okay, so the common structure for a presentation is well, I actually was looking for the most appropriate structure for any presentation, right? Not only oral, but well, oral is our case, but I was thinking that maybe this would be helpful for you. So, presentations need to be very straightforward and logical. We already know that, right? It is important that you avoid complex structures and focus on the need to explain and discuss your work clearly. So you've got an opinion or you've got something to present. You have to be clear of your ideas, right? An ideal structure for a presentation includes a welcoming and informative introduction. And we know that introductions are the point at which the presenter, that is to say we, explains the content and the purpose of the presentation, right? And here we have a lot of choices that we can pick. But for example, a positive start. Good afternoon, my name is Camila, and I will presenting and I say the topic, right? Then a statement of what will be discussed. I am going to explore the difference between this or that, etc. Also, a statement of the treatment to be applied to the topic. That is to say, to compare, to contrast, to evaluate, to describe. It depends on the purpose of your presentation. Argumentative or narrative, right? So I will be comparing the four main principles of, or I will be describing, I will be discussing, etc. A statement of the outcomes of the presentation. I hope this will provide us with some aspects of blah 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 blah, right? And also a statement of what the audience will need to do. For example, that is to say, when they can ask questions or whether or not they will need to take notes, or in our case, for example, just to say that you will be providing your opinion or your description, etc. So you should aim to deliver your introduction confidently, right? You will need to be sure about what you're presenting, about what you're saying, about your beliefs on the things you are presenting, right? You cannot look like if you're not sure of what you're doing. After that, we've got a coherent series of main points presented in a logical sequence. Well, here we've got a lot of things to say, but I'm going to read a little bit. The main points are the backbone of your talk. They play an important role in helping helping you focus and sequence your information. When planning your presentation, you should put aside your research notes and produce a list of summary of the main points that you would like to make, expressing it in a few words or a short sentence. Ask yourself, what am I really telling them? What should they be learning here? Your answers to these questions will help you communicate clear and effective messages to your audience. So here you will be providing actually the body of your speech, right? For example, if you're providing an opinion, you will be saying why you think that in a logical sequence, right? The document also says that after you have identified your main points, you should embellish them with supporting information. For example, add clarity to your argument through the use of diagrams, illustrate a link between theory and practice, or substantiate your claims with appropriate data. Use the supporting information to add color and interest to your talk, but avoid detracting from the clarity of your main points by overburdening them with too much detail. Well, in our case, we will not. We don't have a sort of. You can have the technological support, right? PowerPoint presentations, Prezi, etc. But that it's up to you. You decide how you want to present the topic, right? And and also a lucid and purposeful conclusion. And I'm going to cite. The conclusion is an essential, though frequently underdeveloped section of a presentation. This is the stage at which you can summarize the content and purpose of your talk, offer an overview of what has been achieved, and make a lasting impact. Important elements of a conclusion are a review of the topic and purpose of your presentation, a statement of the conclusions or recommendations to be drawn from your work, an indication of the next stages, an introduction as to what happens next, and a thank to the audience for their attention and participation. Conclusions are actually the summary of what you have said at our level, and it is important to finish your speech, to finish your presentation with a purposeful conclusion and with a strong conclusion, like, okay, this is what I thought, or this is what I described. I hope it is helpful for you, and any question, please ask me, right? Well, remember that a presentation needs a carefully defined structure to make the most impact. This should center on a series of identifiable main points that are supported by appropriate detail. Use transitions to link and move between points, helping your audience to understand the development of your argument or description or exploration depends on you, right? They enable you to establish a clear purpose for your talk at the start and summarize your main points before you finish speaking, right? So, introduction, body, conclusion. That is the basic structure for any presentation, for any oral speech, right? Now, well, of course, if you have any question, please just let me know, okay? Not now, because we're not face to face, but when, well, I will be providing the next instructions. So, practice, of course. This is not just listening to me, right? After you have already explored the main structure of the presentation, it is time to practice everything it has been said, right? So, try to use one of the topics you have been learning during the semester, right, on the units for practice, and elaborate a 5-minute speech, orally, of course. So you have to record yourselves with a mobile phone, whatever you want to. You know how to use technological devices, and if you don't, please just let me know. I will try to help you with that, okay? And do not forget to use all the strategies mentioned. And by saying this, I mean that do not forget to use an introduction, body, and conclusion, okay? So, final reflections on the session and its topic. First, what do you think it is important to keep these strategies in mind? So, yeah, we've talked about this a lot, but what do you think it's important? Actually, do you think it is important, or you think it's not important? That's first, right? And second, what can we do to improve our oral skills? Right? I want you to reflect on this. What can I do as a student of first year to improve my oral skills? Right? And third, is there any other suggestion you would make in order to improve our oral performance and its structure, and that is not in the presentation? Is there something that you can think of and I didn't mention? Please just let me know, because I need to enrich this work with you, of course. This is feedback all the time, So please, after you record yourselves uh, answer these questions, please, okay? Because it is important to reflect on our learning process, and you know that. So, well, I'm very happy to be able to do this. I hope that everything is okay in your lives. I hope that this strike um, is not bad for you. And please just let me know anything you need to say, okay? So, see you later. Bye bye. And where is the recording? Okay. Well, I'm new at this, so I'm not that good. See you later, guys.